of a place that I'd never heard of, in a tiny little village that I drive past very, very often, well, twice a day, and had no idea that this place was there. I'm going to let you come with me as we discover what it was and why it's there. Enjoy. Now, you can probably hear dogs in the background. That's why we're here, really, because there's a bit of a hidden gem. I can't even tell you where it is because they don't want people bringing animals, essentially just dropping them off at the door like they do at cat and dog shelters. But essentially, you've got a dog rescue place here.
We have, yeah. This is SHAK, a sanctuary for abused, mistreated and neglected dogs, basically.
Right.
And what we do that's slightly different to everybody else is we take in the dogs that nobody else touches, basically. We're like that safety net under there for vets.
So are these more dangerous dogs or just dogs that have had more trauma?
Yeah, dogs that have had more trauma, really. Yes, there is dogs in there with behavioural issues and that have had a bit of a bad time and got themselves in a bad situation. But likewise, we're taking a lot of dogs with health issues where, you know, they're booked in or abandoned because people can't afford their vet's bills or that they're due, you know, major operations and things like that. And obviously ordinary rescues and the rehoming side of things, that becomes more difficult to place a dog that's going to cost somebody £2,000 to get a leg repaired or something like that, you know.
So, I mean, essentially you need help, but you need the right kind of help, and you need people to go on the website and ally themselves to you and be fundraisers for you and try and get what you can.
That's it. I mean, that's sort of the flip side of it, if you like. Probably the hardest part is that you've got, you know, I've just been talking, we've got nearly 70 dogs in my care, all of which cost money to keep.
Sure.
So you're constantly having this battle to try and you know, cover vets' bills and just general running costs, really, to staff the place and to keep everybody safe.
But Steve, you've got a farm here as well. It's lambing season, as if it's not busy enough.
Oh, that's it. It's chaos at times. There's just days that you just think, sort of, wow, is this ever going to pan out? But you just get through it, and you just look at their faces in there and see that what you're giving them, and that makes it all worthwhile.
There's a strange exotic smell here. I'm trusting it's not you, Steve.
No, definitely not. It's that big yellow skip there that you can just see in the corner.
What, is there a body in there?
No, there's probably a body weight of some other matter, shall we say.
Right. Walk on. Get us out of here. This is brilliant. So we're coming into a huge farm shed for you. A bit of building work being done here, obviously, to turn it into some offices and some that kind of thing. Oh my goodness, look at this. Now they're massive dogs, what are they?
We tend to get a lot of German Shepherds, a lot of Rottweilers, a lot of even sort of bigger but slighter breeds, greyhounds, lurchers, that kind of thing. You tend to find, I think, that in today's society, when I was growing up as a kid, there was always German Shepherd crosses sort of running around on the street, yeah. Now it's not, it's your Bijons and all your little crossbreeds. And the big dogs really, really suffer, to be honest. You know, it's because it's almost they're out of fashion now, and a lot of people don't want them.
Now, if this was like 11:30 at night on a Friday, I would think you brought me here to feed these animals as food, because as soon as you open the door, presumably they'll all get their hopes up.
Yeah, that's it, and I think it's strangers as well, you know, the fact that it's a stranger coming in. One thing we try and do here is we treat it as their home. You know, this is their place, this is all they've got in the world, really. So they are aware of who comes in and they get used to you. And, you know, if you came back tomorrow, the noise wouldn't be half as bad. And after 2 or 3 days, they settle down and you know, they just get used to you coming in.
It's amazing. I'm just going to have a walk down, if I may. Hello, big dog. Unbelievable.
There is actually in this kennel at the end, which again just shows it is across the board. It's a little Patterdale Terrier at the bottom there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. She was booked in to get put to sleep on Saturday.
No.
Yeah, and she's only 10-month-old.
There's a 10-month-old little black dog bouncing up and down. It's absolutely minute. So how did you hear about the dog so you could rescue her then?
Basically, my vet rings as if they have a dog. There's a put to sleep case and they don't feel that's the correct thing to do. We're that safety net, as I said, that we'll take it. I'm in the process of placing her with another rescue, so she will move on very, very quickly. But it was the point, getting her safe on Saturday, really. And obviously saving her life, that was the main thing, you know.
At the present moment, the little dog's licking Tony's fingers at the side there. And just desperately get a bit of love.
That's it, yeah, love and attention and just a little bit of understanding, really.
And as we walk down the other side, more dogs in ones and twos as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in that, dogs are very sociable animals, and, they like the company being with other dogs, so we try and work with them together. We do pair them up. We'll take them out in groups of 4s and 5s. Lurchers, for example, are very sociable and love playing and chasing and running with each other and things like that.
Yeah.
So again, it's very much trying to make their day, I say, as full as you can by giving them fun.
But I think the point that you made with regards to an animal being put to sleep, you're the difference between life and death to some of these critters.
It is, yes, and there's a lot of them in there that have been in that situation. I mean, we'll only take dogs from vets that are going to put them to sleep. Northumberland County Council I work very closely with, so we take a lot of dogs from the council.
Yeah.
Occasionally other rescues that I work with nationwide, I'll get something that perhaps they can't handle, or it's a little bit too much, and we'll take that. But yeah, the majority of those dogs have been sort of put to sleep cases at the vets, or found as strays. And I think incredibly over the last 18 months or so, the actual, how can I put it, the breeds that we're getting in are a lot, your Staffies, your Lurchers and things you get used to.
Yeah.
But we've had Dalmatians, St Bernards, Old English sheepdogs, all booked in to be put to sleep or found as strays, and that's the biggest thing.
I would imagine the smaller dogs easier to house straight away, because you need a certain kind of person to deal with a dog that A, has had issues in their previous lives, and secondly, there's just the sheer size of some of these.
That's right, and like I said in there before, I think the fashions have changed, so people's lifestyles and houses and everything have changed, so it is, you don't have the room for the big dogs, so yeah, easy ones tend to come in and you can place them with other rescues or into homes very, very quickly.
Right. So you want volunteers, anybody that can help with anything, essentially. Money, absolutely. And they can find out how to donate on the website, I guess.
Yeah, if they go to the website, which is www.shak.org.uk, there's all the details and stuff on there. And yeah, you can donate monthly direct debits, PayPal donations, or even doing fundraising events for themselves and then sending us the money, which some people do. It's brilliant as well, So.
And I do think that if anybody's looking for, because these are healthy animals. I mean, I've been to some cat and dog shelters, rescue centres, and some of them you'll get, these pets are they're on their best, some of them are sick, and some of them's got this, and they're on medication. I wouldn't outrun any of these suckers, I'm telling you.
No, and that's something again I sort of pride myself on. We do put the dogs as the priority, really, And I'm very lucky, like I say, with the team of people that are behind with it. We do understand.
How many you got though in total?
In volunteers and things, so yeah. Well, there's David and Melissa that work for us full time, and then we've probably got a team of about 15 volunteers.
You need 115.
We do. I definitely still probably wouldn't.
I saw a dog taking one of your lads for a walk before.
Yeah, that's Bully. He's been here a long time, bless him. Again, a great little character.
What kind of dog?
He's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, but we've had him a lot of years. He was a character when he came and was a bit of a mischief, and he's just settled into it. He's got his routine, he's quite happy and got a lot of friends here, so he gets out and about. And
so he's probably going to be here a lot longer.
I think, unless you found the right home. I think that's the question always get asked is how many of those can you rehome? Right. And I say, well, you can look at it two ways. It's either none of them or all of them, really. It's just finding the right home for that particular dog.
Are they, because they're such a large dog, special requirements for an owner? I mean, do they have to have a farm? Do they have to live out in the countryside? Do they have to have a huge house with a bit of land? Because these are big animals.
Yeah, no, I suppose some of them maybe would be best.
Ride some of these animals.
Definitely. I think some of them it's more understanding and experienced owners and people that understand what they've been through previously and dealing with their issues.
Right.
And if you can get over that, obviously there's some dogs who would prefer a more rural environment to city centres and stuff like that. But I think it's just the care and the understanding that people can give to the dogs that's a little bit more important, if I'm honest.
No, and I'm glad your dad's not here, because I gather I was going to get wrong off your dad.
Yeah, I was just telling him last night you were popping up, and he came to see us, and he was just reminding us of the times that he used to tell us off for my old red Sony Walkman with the dial on that I used to struggle to get Metro on, and listen to that sort of under the cover so nobody could hear us listening to it and stuff like that. So many years.
It's part of your way in this world that you have to go through that. But thank you for doing it nonetheless.
No problem, no bother at all.
Hey, I tell you though, this is. It's a hidden gem because, as I say, I think a lot of people would be reluctant to take on. First of all, some of those dogs are really, and I'm talking about very, very large dogs, but to just say, everybody else doesn't want them, so we'll do it. I think that takes a bit of guts.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think it was just, I suppose once I got involved in this, it wasn't something I particularly intended to do. I got involved and
you can't say give me big dogs, but it was the big dogs that seem in greatest need here.
Definitely, and that's what it was. I mean, to cut a very long story short, SHAK was the name of a German Shepherd cross that I had that died suddenly with lymphoma, and I uttered those faithful words, never ever again was I going to put myself through that.
I know, but most people when they say that, they get a puppy. They get a puppy, that's it.
No, and that was kind of it. And I got involved. I had my own business that I sold to my business partner and went off and worked in a few shelters and stuff. And I just saw that there was a huge sort of niche in the market, if you want.
You'll never be rich doing this, man.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Got some good memories and some good scars, but never going to be rich.
So, a dream scenario that we start to create some kind of flow for people wanting large, wonderful animals, because as I say, they're beautifully kept, they're fit, they're strong. Strong's an understatement, and presumably you need a strong will to keep them under control.
Yeah, and again, I think it's all down to just sort of, your experience in handling the dogs and stuff like that, and understanding their needs and their issues. I think training and wise and stuff like that, there's a wide spectrum of different methods and different people have different ideas.
Tony's a dog owner, and he wasn't bothered by any of that. I went in there saying, please don't kill me. It was the first thing that I felt, and that's being honest, because I'm not a doggy person, but there's some beautiful, beautiful animals in there.
There is. They're all lovely in their own little ways, and I think it's one of those things, you get them coming in with all sorts of problems or issues, and you just fall in love with them for what they are. I've got a 3-legged lurcher at home that's epileptic, and he's out of all those dogs you've seen in there, he's the most difficult dog I've ever had to handle because of his illness. But you love him a bit, he always has a fit just as much as the day's starting or something like that, and it's like, but he's just like kids or whatever, they just do it, and you fall in love with them for that. And
no, for sure. So let's just hope that some people come forward who can volunteer their time now. I know you don't want to tell people where you are, but essentially it's central Northumberland. It's not far from Alnwick. Yeah, you're within a simple car journey there. I mean, literally 5-10 minutes from Alnwick. Anybody that's in Morpeth could get here comfortably. Anybody from further north as well. So if you would like to volunteer at a place like this, get onto that website. If you can donate money, if you think this is a cause that is underfunded at the best of times, imagine here's some dogs that have no future unless you were here.
Yeah, that's it, and I think that's the saddest and the hardest thing to accept, that that a lot of these dogs wouldn't be here if we weren't here. And so we just need the help from people and the support from people.
Can I have a word with you, man? Yeah.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul. So just a second, Paul. I saw you being walked by a dog before.
Oh, that was bully. Aye.
And now you've picked an even bigger one, which I'm presuming is an Alsatian cross or a German Shepherd.
Cross Rottweiler.
Cross Rottweiler. My goodness, he's a big, strong animal.
But I know he's a bigger one. He doesn't want to pull as much, so he just wants to pot around now.
So
he's pulling days an hour.
You've had.
I think you've got to pull him.
Right, but you've had the challenge, so you've come back for an easier one. Is
That's
that
right.
what you're telling me?
He's an easier challenge.
I don't blame you. How did you get involved with this?
Well, I got involved through my niece. My niece used to be a volunteer.
Right.
Here, and she kept asking me to come up and give her a hand or get involved in some way, and I said, don't involve me with that. I've got enough to do.
Right.
Without getting involved with that. I work full time. I said, I work shifts. I've got enough to do.
Yeah.
I said, I'll get you some equipment. I bought buckets and some brushes and shovels. I said, I'll take you up with them. I'll have a look around, and that's it. But didn't get us involved with that. And so I did that, and here I am. She doesn't come now. I'm part of the fixtures and fittings. I'm head of maintenance. I'm head of equipment.
So you've got lots of titles, though.
And I'm the chief handyman.
And you're covered with
covered in dogs.
Yeah, dogs, covered in dogs, but loving it.
Oh, I love it. I love it because these dogs is my passion apart from the tune. I like to drink, the tune army, and dogs, and that's it. And I know for a fact, most 95% of these dogs wouldn't, if it wasn't for this setup, they wouldn't be alive.
They wouldn't, I know.
They would have been destroyed for not a reason that's not their fault. It's the reasons that humans have damaged them and whatever. And
on top of that, it's not a question of. Some shelters say, oh, he's an old dog, best put him to sleep. And you think, whoa, just because they're old? I mean, think of your nana, for heaven's sake. You cannot be doing that. How old's this critter here then? Hang on, Steve might know.
Yeah. Kai Kai now will be sort of
Thanks very much, man.
9-10ish now.
Right.
He's got a little bit of arthritis there, but again, he
Doesn't do gentle, just had a treat and a thumb.
no, he'll be about 9 or 10. You can see he's a little bit arthritic in his front elbows now.
Right.
But again, he gets seen by the vet and he's on medication for that. And he's stubborn because he doesn't want to go now because there's treats on the go. But yeah, no, he's about 9 or 10. And again, that's something that we do get in. We get a lot of older dogs that have been dumped, you know, old. And again, dogs you wouldn't expect, old Labradors and things like that you find. I had
How can you love an animal for 10 years and then dump it?
Well, that's it, isn't it? How can you have it in your home and in your life? And I had it was an old black Labrador that was in up near Wylie that was dumped on that road. And she was blind and deaf and just circling in the road. So she'd been somewhere and they just kicked her out and dumped her, you know. So there's that side of it all. I think it's not all the big aggressive dogs. It is the older dogs and, like I say, the dogs with illness and stuff as well.
And you've given up a good career, a business, money, presumably occasionally sex, because you're going to get none smelling like this. Let me tell you, and. For love, it's good.
Yeah, it is. It's something I think it just gets into you. And like Paul is a classic. It was so funny because he was adamant he wasn't getting involved, and then his niece, you know, she's working now, and he comes up, and every time he has a day off, every day he books holidays, and he comes up and does it, and it does just get into you. And I think it is. It's the dogs. Once you see and have that effect on a dog, that you might see a dog come in a terrible state and then just see it develop over a couple of weeks and hopefully bounce back to fitness, then it does. And likewise, sometimes you don't, and you know, you lose them because of, you know, you can't cure cancer or whatever, but that gives you the incentive to push on and help the next one. And you learn from that, and you learn from the condition and about the disease or the illness, and it's just like that, Alan. It just takes over you. Just takes over your whole life, really.
I envy you in so many ways. Are you a married person?
I'm not, no.
That kind of tells me. Tells you everything you need to know. But seriously though, sincere thanks, because you're picking up the slack that other people just dump on you, and it's not your fault, but more importantly, it's not the dog's fault.
That's it. It's you know, you've got to try and understand where they were in the situations that we've got dogs that have been used in scrap yards before, all this kind of thing, and the dogs come out and they love it. You think they'll be big ferocious animals, but they love the freedom, the fact that they're no longer in a cage and stuff and chained up and things like that. Just, you know, it's not their fault and they just love it.
You can see this being a bit of a heartbreaker, but if it's for you, SHAK.org, seem to remember, .uk. Make sure that you go on that website if you can do anything at all. If you're a business and you're dealing in food stocks or you're dealing in cleansing equipment or any of that, you'll have some stuff tucked away that you're never going to use again. These people will use it every day. Do the best you can. Steve, it's been an honour. Thanks for meeting me.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.